In the echoes of time, a realm stood on the peak of the known world, resting in the heart of the tapestry of existence, a place known as the realm of war. Despite its ominous name, this realm was no crucible of terror. Instead, it thrived in harmony and unity. This great realm and its inhabitants rested upon the shoulders of one who had the strength and valor to govern such a vast and sprawling dominion. An extraordinary warrior, a true, powerful leader, a being whose bravery and might were unparalleled. The King of War. The King of War, a man of unbeatable will, fortitude, and strength, was blessed with an unmatched and boundless power, the power of war. This extraordinary force, exclusive only to him, knew no limits. It was an untamed, unrestrained power, fueled by its very essence. Power fueled by power. The power of war resided in the blades of war, two formidable weapons forged from the elusive ore, known as Sorbera stone. This rare ore possessed the unique ability to absorb and amplify any force directed towards it. For countless millennia, the King of War ruled his realm, facing adversaries who sought to conquer his lands, to claim the power of war as their own. His unshakable spirit and the might of the power of war led him to triumph in every conflict against the evils and the power-hungry he faced. Yet there was one battle, one war, where he could not claim victory, not entirely, a defeat in an otherwise undisputed record of conquests. On that fateful day, the King of War came face to face with his greatest nemesis, a vile and shadowy entity known as the Shadow Hydra. This six-headed dragon, forged from the very essence of darkness, wielded the power of corruption, a power that threatened to taint everything it touched. The King of War and the Shadow Hydra battled for centuries, a clash of titans that shook the very foundations of the tapestry of existence. Despite his immense power, the king hesitated to entirely vanquish the Shadow Hydra. He feared that if the blades of war were to absorb the Hydra's corruption, it would corrupt the blades, therefore corrupting him. So, instead of destroying the creature, the king used the power of war to repel it, keeping the monster at bay and protecting his kingdom from its devouring darkness. But there came a time when the Shadow Hydra managed to elude the King of War and unleashed a hail of corrupting power upon the realm. Faced with the imminent threat of his realm succumbing to darkness, the King of War was left with no alternative but to wield the blades of war and absorb the malevolent energy. With the aid of his blades, he successfully prevented the Shadow Hydra from corrupting the realm. But due to the immense strength of the blades, the insidious soul of the Shadow Hydra became confined within them. Its essence became intertwined with the very power the king sought to safeguard. Faced with the impending threat of his corruption, the King of War became deeply concerned for the balance of existence itself, for it was only a matter of centuries before the corrupting influence within the blades would turn him into a harbinger of destruction. In order to safeguard the stability of the realms, he devised a plan. The realm of war was neighbored by 9 other realms, each serving a distinct purpose to maintaining the balance of existence. Using the last bits of uncorrupted power that remained in the blades of war, the King of War forged 9 artifacts of war, enchanting each artifact with one of the 9 aspects of war. All that was left was to select one extraordinary life form from each realm, entrusting them with the greatest task in existence. From the war-torn lands of Viterra, he chose a master blacksmith and gifted him the Orb of War, a relic affixed to his chest that pulses with power. With it, the blacksmith could summon and forge any weapon or armor with but a thought, becoming the master of the armaments of war. In Venubis, the weakest of realms, where frailty and innocence was but a norm, the king chose its ruler and gave him the Crystal of War. This relic transformed the small and vulnerable king into a towering, unstoppable force of nature. His strength was unparalleled. He became the master of the strength of war. From Neregnum, a realm of shimmering cityscapes and advanced technology, the king selected a brilliant woman and armed her with the spear of war. Her spear never dulled, and with it she gained boundless agility, capable of fighting tirelessly without ever succumbing to fatigue. She became the master of the agility of war. In the sky-bound realm of Kelugnum, where floating islands drift through an endless sky, the king gifted an amulet to one of its inhabitants. This relic endowed its bearer with unmatched speed, allowing him to traverse vast distances in the blink of an eye. He became the master of the swiftness of war. From Fegnum, a shadowed realm teeming with darkness, the king chose a lone, innocent soul from a land overrun by vile forces. To this man, he gave the katana of war, a blade that allowed its wielder to dissolve into shadows, moving unseen among enemies, becoming the master of the deception of war. In the feline realm of Hooflas, the king granted one warrior the Eye of War, an artifact that projected consciousness beyond the physical realm. With it, the warrior could see through the eyes of his enemies, create illusory doubles, and outmaneuver any foe. He became the master of the vision of war. On Taurus, a mountainous realm renowned for its leaders, saw the king bestow the bow of war upon a master archer. This bow granted unparalleled strategic insight, enabling its wielder to devise flawless battle plans in moments. He became the master of the strategy of war. From the ancient realm of Testopodum, the cradle of wisdom, the king chose Nestor, an old friend. He granted him the Ring of War, a relic not forged for combat, but to preserve knowledge. With it, Nestor became master of the insights of war. He could peer into the hearts and minds of others, understand their deepest intentions, and even tap into forgotten memories. Finally, the King of War saved the greatest aspect of war for this realm, the realm of Terexon, or as you better know it, the universe in which your Earth is located. The King of War selected a fearless man amongst the humans, a man named Donovan Davis. This man had shown unparalleled courage in the face of adversity, a heart that did not waver, and the strength to stand against any challenge. The king presented Donovan with the Khopesh of War, a weapon that drains every ounce of fear from its wielder's heart, making Donovan the master of the courage of war. And so it was decided. The masters of armaments, strength, agility, swiftness, deception, vision, strategy, insights, and courage of war will protect their realms from the evils that threaten the balance of existence and from the potential wrath of the King of War, should he ever attack the realms after his corruption. The king trained his champions in the arts of war, a martial art that bridged the gap between life and death, an art that was the sacred embodiment of warfare itself. And soon, each one of them was granted the title, Master of War. It was then decreed that upon the passing of a Master of War, their artifact would be passed down to their descendant. This sacred duty would not end with death, for the legacy of the Masters had been tainted with the eternal flow of existence. The chosen heir, bound by blood and honor, would be entrusted with the sacred vows of their forebearer to protect the balance of existence and defend their realm against all forces that threatened its demise. As for the King of War, he sought to protect the inhabitants of his realm from the corruption that would soon consume him. With a heavy heart, he divided his people among the 9 realms, ensuring their safety and distance from the darkness that would inevitably overtake him. Then, standing atop the highest peak in the once thriving realm of war, the king cast his gaze over an expanse of desolate, abandoned ruins. With unbendable determination, he harnessed the immense power of the blades of war, channeling their full strength. He then unleashed his power unto his own domain. Each strike he delivered to the ground below shattered the realm with unparalleled force. The echoes of his blows reverberated across the empty realm. When the dust finally settled, The proud realm of war had been transformed into an ominous dungeon, an eternal prison where the king would confront the corruption that had consumed him. From the depths of the abyss he had forged, the King of War shaped a colossal dungeon of 10 levels. Within its halls, he constructed 9 trials, each one akin to a certain aspect of war. Only a true master of war could hope to navigate the challenges and emerge victorious, ensuring that almost no being would be able to free him. The 10th and final level of the dungeon, buried deep within the realm, became the heart of this horrid prison. Within its impenetrable walls, the King of War, now fully consumed by the power of corruption, sealed himself away, securing the mighty blades of war in a prison from which they would never see the light of day. Bound by his own creation, he chained his limbs, his final ounces of willpower preventing him from giving in to the corruption that had overtaken his mind. To ensure the balance of existence, the king shrouded the dungeon's location in mystery, hiding it even from his own corrupted mind. That became his final sacrifice, the last duty of honor he would ever fulfill. And so, the King of War became both legend and warning.